Beautiful, lovely gamers. My name is Jonal. Welcome to this episode of Meta Talk this year, where we cover meta, strategy, and tactics here. No, but today we are talking about the LA Valiant versus the Vancouver Titans. Sorry that this video is late. Had a shit ton of stuff that I had to do, and now we're coming around to this. A like on the video always helps, as I spend a lot of time making this video, so a like would really appreciate and help around. And I would like to hear, for further references, just in case what I want to cover in OWL, as I have limited time and, limited amount of videos you can post and whatnot. What is your favorite OWL team, and do you have a reason for that? I would like to hear that down in the comment section below, so I can get to know that. And yeah, we're going to talk about not why the Titan fucked up and they're so bad. We're going to talk about why the Valiant was so fucking good, how they played so amazingly, so we can learn from that, how they played really, really good. And I would just say an amazing applause or like really good job to the coaching staff of the Valiant, putting up a good plan against the Titan, and just seeing the Valiant play this good. Like it's of course an individual player, that's good job to the players, but just the coaching staff itself, that doesn't always get, the silent hero, the heroes in the dark that you don't see. Amazing job from the coaching staff. So just want to say good job to the coaching staff of the Valiant. You did a fucking amazing job. Yeah, before we start talking about coaching, if you're in the summer, you want to improve, rank up, get better at the game, either if you're top 500 or GM, or you want to get to top 500, or if you're bronze and you want to rank up, anything in between, it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session if you want to hire me as a private coach. My Discord, a link down in the description, so you can just hit me up there. In general, yeah, that's it. Let's really just begin. Now, let's talk about the strategies. So what we will see a very specific patterns. That's what we're going to try to kind of run here. We're going to try to run patterns instead of running the full fucking VOD review, which is a 4 or 5 hour VOD review, right? So we're going to try to run a couple of patterns and consistency that we see through the Valiant's play that really just stood out. So, strat number 1, fuck up bumper if you can, logically. We see that the Valiant want to try to slow down and kind of disrupt the Ghost comp of the Titans, kind of mess up their flow and how they play. So, messing up and fucking off a bunker, trying to play around the Titans, not play too much Ghost versus Ghost comp. They try to abuse the fact that they're super aggressive and just slow down. When they play, we will see a really good thing at one, the Valiant committing to fights with ultimates, which we have seen some teams not doing against the Titans, and what we've seen the Titans do to other teams. When the Titan will be down 2 players, they'll be like, press Q, and then they win the fight, even though they're down 2 players, because they commit to these. While we see some other teams that whole fights, they're like down 1 player, they lose 1 player, and then they immediately like, no more ultimates, stop it, we lost, it's fine, reset. Just die, it's done, fuck it. Instead of you see the Valiant come into ultimate fight, there are multiple times where they lose players, and they're still like, motherfuckers, just Q and win. Lol, forehead, just go, right? And it's really good to see. There's so many fights that really just stacks up over time and helps them play the maps better. That where the Valiant will commit with ultimates to a fight that potentially should be lost, right? Where you're down a player, but it will still play with that. But even more importantly, what we see is how good the Valiant does map flow, how they set up defenses, and how essentially they manage to play around the Titans. They stay a lot of the fights, or not every single fight legitimately, but a majority of the fights that the Valiant does, they have incredible advantages in the way that they set up. Setting up, what's his name, KSF, setting him up Shax and Sombra, setting up Kareev, just in general setting up their team around the chokes and where they're gonna play, so that every time the fucking Titans try to push in, they're fighting with huge disadvantages. We will see examples of this in this video, and which that is like the majority of it. By setting up these incredibly defensive areas, even on offense, they will be doing a rotation to set up an area that you can fight on the objective, so that the Titans is fighting at a disadvantage. At that point, the balance, like if you push hard in, you get really hard punished, and then essentially you're ruining the flow of the Titans that really like to just go hard on people with their really good team fighting skills and their really good ghost skills, right? With Bumper in the front just absolutely being a god. And that is what you will see coming out from the Valiant through this game, is the way that they rotate, the way they do their setups, both as attackers and defenders, really pressuring and just keeping the Titans at disadvantages, making them fight at disadvantages. That's really good. Let's look quickly at the individual players before we go on. We have Shax, he plays Sombra a lot for the team. He has some really good hacks, he has some good EMPs. He does decent pressure. He's not like the best Sombra in the league or anything like that, but he played really good today in this match, especially helping setting up so that, it's difficult for Bumper to push in, and in general difficult for the Titans to play against the Valiant without getting hacked or punished in some way or form. We have Kareev being an absolute fucking god on Ana, just sleeping like left, right, and center. Just fuck you, you're sleeping. Huge nades, good nows. Again, really good setups in the way that he sets up crossfire so he can land big grenades to just absolutely devastate the Titans. We saw KSF doing pretty okay on DPS, but especially what I want to focus on, really good on Sorry, controlling space and giving the Valiant so many advantages during the fight, rotating, taking high ground, controlling that high ground, pressuring down on Bumper, setting up areas so that it's difficult for the Titans to push in on the Valiant, and the Valiant can always extend outwards. Really good play from him. Custa, really good at kiting, popping sound barriers, keeping some okay pressure on, but especially the kiting part where, you know, you're creating distance in between the Titans if you need to. You lose a player, you lose 2 players, you have time to disengage and then re-engage with a full team. This happens a lot because of Custa. Agility is being absolutely amazing on Junkrat and Pharah. Absolutely love that. Doing pretty okay on break, you know, has some good rallies, but especially, you know, seeing him on Pharah and Junkrat, absolutely love that. It's been a time since I've seen, you know, a really good crisp Junkrat, so seeing that was absolutely adorable and just amazing, so thank you for that, Agilities. And FCT, and this might sound toxic, but it's not toxic, not feeding against Bumper, which is nothing against FCT, but it's something against Bumper, being a fucking god. Not feeding against Bumper and outplaying him to a certain extent, helping his team set up, fight, sometimes pressuring. He does whiff a shatter here and there. That's fine. The fact is that what you see him, he's really good at committing to team fights and really good at damage, putting damage output. And it's when you see all of this, you just see how well the Valiant play together. It's the coaching staff, it's the players, it's in general just a team. The way that they set up stuff, so it's like, okay, we have this setup, this is how we're gonna play. Now we are advancing, now we're not advancing, now the ultimates are coming out, now they're not coming out. We're gonna push here, we're gonna fight here, we're gonna kite here. Just seeing them on such the same page throughout the match and playing really good was in general super. But now we're like 7 minutes into the video, so, well, let's really just begin. Let's take a first look at the first clip here on Oasis, where Valiant will lose. Valiant will lose to Oasis. But here's one of the clips I just want to point out, because I tried to point out everything from any map, but the Valiant plays good. So, Oasis, Valiant pressuring the Titan here, using agilities. He will be pressuring the Ana, almost killing the Ana, splitting half of the teams as 3 players from Titan cast backwards, while the rest of the 3 will be doing a dive, 2 tanks, and then Shax, I believe, in the back line, setting up. They will then dive the Valiant will then fight them, force out Siomisu on Sombra. I think I said Shax and Sombra, I meant Siomisu on Sombra, of course. Forcing out Siomisu and Sombra, and then just keeping pressure on the Titans' backline, keeping pressure on the Titans, and wiping on this defense, which is sorely just done by shutting down the entire dive, even before it started, but just immediately using your Pharah and just shooting straight down with some good rockets onto the Ana. But that's Oasis. Oasis, there wasn't really much I want to point out from the Valiant, but especially on Paris there is. Paris, first point defense. I think that this is one of those that we all saw and was just amazed by. Valiant playing individually just good. Like, as a team, yes, they have a plan, they have the setup, just shutting down the Titans completely, almost full holding first. But especially the individual performance here is what we really want to look at. Agility escaping the dive of the Titans with his concussive mines and whatnot. Also going to Riptire and D-Make with D.Va. FCT keeping pressure on the dive tank, making sure that they can't really do much about it. It's very difficult to do it a lot about Orisa. That's why she's so meta right now. It's just like, yeah, 45, mouse wanting, you know, pulling, halting, shielding, just doing my Orisa things here. Keeping a lot of pressure on the main group and the dive tanks of the Titans. Then we see KSF outplaying Siomisu and Sombra, landing a beautiful headshot onto him, and they're using a lot of time on killing KSF. He's kind of jumping around, and you see how the DPSs, you know, the Sombra, the Widow, the Junkrat, how they just play around the Titans and individually playing good, but also of course trying to coordinate together. Beautiful just execution from the Valiant. Now the Titans will win this by quite simply swapping to goats. Who would have thought? They swapped goats. Agilities goes Genji. Unfortunate miss swap here. They lose that, and that is normally where most of us, and what I was sitting there when I was running the first time, like, oh, okay, so what now? The Titans is gonna snowball this point, and that's where we see this starting to really go downhill for, well, going uphill for the Valiant, going downhill for the Titans. The Valiant will be using EMP to shut down the quote-unquote snowball push. It's not real snowball, but the quote-unquote snowball push, right? Valiant will be buying their time by doing this. They will push, the Titan will push in, the Valiant will be setting up the defense. Yeah, sure, we're waiting for our main tank here, so we're just kind of setting up. And then the fight happens, and then the EMP comes out. Really nice execution. Not one of those scuff EMP where You EMP first, and then the entire team engages, which is just stupid to watch. It's one of those teams where the fight is about to happen, the fight happens, and boom, EMP, fuck you, and let's go. So buying your time and doing this. And this is where we will see the Valiant doing really, really, really amazing like defensive side. Fighting, the way they set up here, or on the defense after kind of shutting down the snowball, is you can see how they're fighting with advantage with KSF on the high ground. Then the Titan push into them, pushing into this kind of crossfire, fighting with a really big advantage, you know, punishing an overextension. They have Shax on the Sombra setting up hacks. They have the Zarya here on the side, and just in general just shutting down all of these pushes, letting the Titan pushing in. If they push in here without clearing away KSF and Shax, they will lose. They will at least fight with a significant disadvantage. They will take so much fucking damage doing that. And then you will see that the Valiant will have an advantage in the fight, putting kind of sticks in the wheels of the rush of the Titans, and being like, yeah, sure, we can buy time here. Like, we have the objective anyway. Like, you need to cap it. We're gonna fight here, build ultimates, keep pressure on you, and it's very difficult for the Titans to not play anywhere except a very, very, you know, limited amount of this of the point, without getting punished or splitting too much from each other. So really, really good. You can see here punishing. They're gonna punish a couple of overextensions as the diva of the Titans will be flying in. I think it's Jonal, if I remember correctly. Remember, I don't see the VODs right now. I pre-recorded the VODs to make this video a little bit faster and a little bit more like smooth and fast-paced. So I believe it's Jonal will be overextending, I think, in this fight and get punished for it. And then, well, again, good setup, and you will see these setups throughout the rest of the maps. Let's go over to Eichenwald. Attack for the Valiant. The enemy team, well, the Titans will be doing a Kree Diva. Goats probably expecting a heavy DPS comp, and the Valiant would just swap to Sombra Goats with a Zarya and win. In general, yes, there are some plays that's being made there and so on. There's some misplays from the Titans, there's some plays from the Valiants being made, but especially just the fact that, of course, at that point, it's like we have Diva Sombra, you have Diva Kree, we have Zarya Sombra. We have a stronger main group than you. We can easily push you out. We have advantages with Orion. We can set up a time more space. We're gonna win this, and they do win that. And then we'll move over to the defensive side. There happens stuff on the attack that I could cover, but we're gonna focus on second point, Valiant defense, and most of what happens there. Second point, defense for the Valiant. The Valiant lost first one here, takes a super fucking early fight. You know, coming to the fight, fighting where they have advantage. They have set up Karif for the side with big nades and big sleeps and so on. Staying in the fight, committing to the fight, and actually winning this fight early here. Again, taking early fights, doing their job. Just again, aggressive, nice setup here. It's difficult for the Titans to push in on the Valiant, again, setting up this kind of thing. While they even get a pick, I believe, difficult for them to set up and actually push in on the Valiant with this setup, allowing the Valiant to build up ultimates, set up a win condition, pop that win condition, and push them out. And we see that even further. Here, for example, it's kind of the same. Even though the Valiant will lose this fight, this is a really great rotation. They're rotates, playing on the high ground, playing the same game, you know, fighting early, with a good setup on the high ground. Even though they lose this, they get time off the clock, they get some ultimates out, they fight here. And again, it's a really good just general rotation onto the high ground fighting and so on. Even though they do lose because of a big shadow from Bumper and so on. And we will see this on Dorado as well. Here on Dorado, another really great setup. The Valiant are pushing the card. The Titan is just rushing down from high ground to fight. Karif is already set up on high ground. The grab comes out. The lands a fucking fat ass nade and does his thing. There's not really much more to say about it. It's a really good setup. And even on attack, and you'll see that here, even on attack, the Valiant will be taking the high ground. They will force the Titans to fight on the low ground, chasing them off the high ground, taking it again, stopping them from pushing. It's pushing in on the payload, denying this high ground. You have KSF on the high ground, just shooting down, just pressuring them, and again denying space for the Titans. And now compare that to the defense of the Valiant, where they almost exclusively play high ground, right? While the Titans was pushed down on low ground on their defense, the Valiant almost exclusively try to play high ground, you know, try to control it, you know, before and engage, even though they do actually get punished later on and so on. And we'll see that here, right? Like, even though the Valiant here get punished on this high ground, you know, by flanking Twilight, they buy themselves time. And so well that they can actually re-engage with another strong fight with all commitments. And this is the kind of the patterns that you will see. There are really great fight setups. They set up their fights, they set up the crossfire, difficult for the Titans to push in, then they can rather start buying their time, looking for win condition, looking for when the Valiant can push in the Titans, looking for either for ultimate builds, hacks, you know, getting in some nice plays. And it's difficult for the Titans to push in on them, denying a lot of space but taking high ground control, especially with KSF, also some with Shax and Sombra. Denying all of this sets it up in such a nice way, and especially when we start seeing Kariva and Ana start doing his job, with also doing another setup from their side. The fact that they have an Ana that does really good setups, then they have, you know, a Sari that does good setups, a Sombra that has good setup. It's like 3-4 players with incredible crossfire around their main tank. Makes it almost impossible for the Titans to actually effectively push in without first clearing out sides of high ground and so on, which buys Valiant time, which buys some time to get ultimates, burn ultimates, look for win conditions, and counters heavily a lot of the playstyle that the Titan is known for, which is these heavy, straight up, let's just go, let's fight, bro, even fights, where the Titans can come out with the incredible play from Bumper and the rest of his team. And I just think that, again, this is, in my opinion, some of the better plays that I've seen for a while. I think that this was a really, really good match. I would like to hear, of course, your opinion down in the comments, and like on the video, and tell me what you think of this series. Do you like it? Do you not? This is a new format where I don't do live audio reviews. I kind of have pre-recorded some clips, and then I kind of try to talk over them as they run in the background. You guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Do you guys like this kind of setup? Is this kind of lame? Do you guys want something different? Would like to hear down in the comments. Like on the video, subscribe with bell notification if you're new to the channel and you like this kind of stuff. But yeah, as always, guys, my name's been Jonal. You guys take care. Stay positive, as always. My name's been Jonal again, and keep the enemy in your crosshair.